existed, we will continue to exist, and we deserve to play the game just as much as everyone else.
This is ABC News.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs
and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner?
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeringAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
This is ONN.
I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network. The state has switched to weekly COVID-19 updates and yesterday added 396 deaths to the overall total, which now stands at 37,608 in Ohio. There are still more than 500 people hospitalized with COVID. Now that the Ohio Supreme Court has struck down a third legislative map approved by Republican members of the Ohio Redistricting Commission, Governor Mike DeWine is suggesting the commission hand off their duties. He says the commission could pass a resolution to hire 3 map makers, 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat, and put them into a room.
Follow the law, to follow the Supreme Court decision, but we also have to follow what the Constitution tells us. We have to try to do all of those within 10 days. I don't know any other way of doing that.
The delay in getting the new district lines approved means the May 3rd election will not include primary races for Ohio House and Senate seats. The family of a black man who a white police officer fatally shot without warning on New Year's Day has sued the officer and the city of Canton in federal court.
Body camera footage released by the Canton Police Department showed that Officer Robert Huber fired multiple rounds through a privacy fence that struck 46-year-old James Williams in the chest. The footage showed Huber yelling at Williams to get down only after firing shots. Williams' wife, Marquetta, said her husband was firing celebratory gunfire with an AR-15 rifle before he was killed. Daniel Barnett, ONN News.
And I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words. Made in America. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
We are compassionate.
We are focused.
We are confident.
We are dependable.
We are resilient.
We are skilled.
We are empathetic.
We are knowledgeable.
We are respectful.
We are here.
For you and your family.
We are close to home. We are
WVU Medicine.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
More live and local programming than anyone else in the Ohio Valley. The Watchdog returns in moments.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Look for plenty of sunshine mixing in with just a few clouds with a high near 74. The overnight low of 57 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Clouds before a few raindrops begin to move through late afternoon Saturday with temperatures in the mid-60s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
In the year 1898, Marconi sent his first radio message across the English Channel.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's have a tune. I'm sick of this silence.
There's nothing wrong with being fun and popular and just giving people what they want.
This is not a radio fantasy camp. We're on the air here.
You seem happy this morning.
Is it Friday already?
Friday.
All I'm doing is getting on the air. The revolution will be broadcast.
How about Friday?
What's this?
Did you ever hear of a thing called radio?
Thank God it's Friday!
It's show time.
On FM, on AM, online, on demand, and on video. We are where you are. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe is here now.
And a very pleasant Friday. Good morning to you. It's a warm morning, 53 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little cooler down here in the valley, 48 degrees here at my home studios, 50 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. It's going to be a lot of sunshine coming up this morning when the sun begins to rise. It'll be cloudier this afternoon and some rain showers begin to mix in this evening. And Aaron says some of those rain showers could be mixed in with storms as well. So we'll talk about all of that coming up with Aaron Myler in a bit. 72, the predicted high. So another warm Friday is in store. Warm day is in store, as we've had for most of the week this week. 7:12 in the morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. A reminder, if you are interested in watching the video feed of this show or any of our shows here on the Watchdog, easiest thing to do is go to watchdognetwork.com. The video is right there, embedded right in the middle of the screen. You can see us on our watchdognetwork.com website if you prefer. You can now watch us on Twitter. The video feed pops up on Twitter, so you can catch us there. Good morning to the Twitter followers who are watching on my following me at Radio Monroe or following the Watchdog at WatchdogWV. You can catch the video feed there as well. And Brother Biff, good morning. Welcome to you, sir. We've made it through, or almost made it through another week.
Yes, we did. Another week is almost in the books.
And the weekend is here. Any big plans for the weekend? I guess I asked you earlier in the week if I thought you might be going down to watch Central play, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Yes, it is. We
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, we're heading down.
You are going down?
Yes. Probably
Good for you.
Probably going to leave here at about, noon or a little after, and going to go down and hope Wheeling Central has some, not luck, but shock in them and can
perseverance
and can shock number one Shady Spring and pull an upset of their own in March and advance tomorrow to the Clash AAA championship game. But as I said after the Grafton game the other night, it's a tough task for Wheeling Central, but I think they can do it. I've got the faith in them.
And you have really been touting Shady Spring a lot this week as a pretty major contender too.
Yeah, and the thing with Shady Spring is once they tip off to start the game, Shady Spring will run nothing but a full court defense. They will press you as soon as they're on defense. So, and it's a press where you have to be patient, because if you are not patient and you start to panic and everything, they create turnovers. So, one of the keys for tonight is going to be Wheeling Central's got to take care of the ball. That'll be number one. Number two, they got to be making their three-pointers. And number three is who's going to step up like they had the other night. And, they're going to need the bench to play well tonight. So the bench has to play well. They got to shoot the three-pointers well. And they can't turn the ball over tonight. They do all that, it'll be a happy bunch tonight in Charleston.
We were talking yesterday, because of St. Patty's Day, about good luck charms and good luck and so on. Do you feel the luck of the Irish with the Maroon Knights tonight? You feel it?
I think they can compete with Shady Spring. They did it last year. This is for those of you that don't know, this is a rematch of last year's Clash AAA championship game, which Central played Shady Spring pretty close until the fourth quarter, and then Shady Spring kind of got a little bit of a lead, and once they did and were able to, again, execute that press that they run in that full court defense, they kind of pulled away a little bit in the fourth quarter last year and ended up beating Wheeling Central for the title. So it's not like they don't know what to expect tonight. I mean, they know what they're in for. It's just can they go out? Can they run the game plan that Coach Stevens and Coach Mirando and Coach Bobby put in place? And can they run it well?
Did I lose you, Biffy?
What's that?
There we go.
No,
I lost
no.
you there for a minute.
Oh,
okay.
I was going to say, no, I was just saying if Central can, run the game plan like the coaching staff put out for them, then yeah, they'll be. I think they have a great shot of winning tonight.
And so I got the impression just from what you and I were talking off the air, I thought maybe you weren't going to make it this year, but you're heading down to support the Maroon Knights. Good for you. And of course, not just watch good basketball, but what else?
Oh, that'll be the first. As soon as we get into the Convention Coliseum, that's the first place I'm going to once we find a seat, is the lemonade stand.
Little Zool's Lemonade.
Yeah, that'll
be looking for.
That'll be as soon as soon as we get in. As soon as we get in there, and we find out, our seats and everything. I'm not even going to sit down. I mean, once we find a seat, I'm headed straight for the lemonade stand. So yeah, that'll be good.
Central plays. What's their scheduled time tonight?
They are scheduled for 7:15 tonight.
Okay.
They are in between the Class 4A semifinals. There's a 4A semifinal before them at 5:30, and then after them at 9 o'clock tonight, and they are the middle game at 7:15.
Game, of course, here on the Watchdog, so tune in to listen. Listen on air, listen online, however you choose to. We will have it for you. And who knows, if you're listening, maybe in the background you hear Brother Biff with the Zool's lemonade in his mouth going, "Go Knights!" We'll see. Unfortunately, Biff, it's the only team we have to follow from the Northern Panhandle this year.
Yeah, and again, we saw yesterday with Parkersburg South and Wheeling Park, and this seems to be a theme that we had Tuesday night. With Cameron, it was the one bad quarter. Actually, with all three teams, it was one bad quarter that they played. And unfortunately, the bad quarter bug hit Wheeling Park yesterday morning, sorry. It was the second quarter that did in Wheeling Park, as Parkersburg South outscored them 20-7 in the second quarter. And I think the guys yesterday morning said at one point, Parkersburg Catholic Parkersburg South shot 50% in the second quarter. And really, I mean, you take that quarter out, and Wheeling Park played Parkersburg South pretty close the rest of the way, but the second quarter is what did in Wheeling Park, and Wheeling Park only shot 31% from the floor yesterday morning, 24% from the three-point line, so wasn't a very good shooting day yesterday for the Wheeling Park Patriots, and unfortunately it was the second quarter that was their downfall.
Yep. So you could have heard that game yesterday. You'll hear the Central game tonight, and you'll hear all the games, all the championship games this weekend. So stick around to the Watchdog. No matter who's playing, we'll have them for you here on the show. 7:19, not the show, on the station. 7:19. My show does not go till nighttime. God help me. It's the station, not the show. 7:19, 19 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. I guess before I leave round ball, Biff, are you playing any brackets this year? Do you have brackets for March Madness?
I have one, and that is it.
I usually have a bracket or two, play them, a couple of places. I just, make some guesses and stuff, but I don't have any this year, so wasn't as interested as I normally am because I'm not invested. But I guess we already have had a major bracket buster in March Madness yesterday, right?
Yes, that would be out of the East region. That would have been number 15, St. Peter's. They defeated number 2 seed Kentucky last night. And actually, if you remember, and to my Ohio State friends, cover your ears for about 30 seconds. If you remember last year, Ohio State, who was a 2 seed, got upset by number 15 Oral Roberts last year.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
So, okay, you can uncover your ears now, Ohio State friends. But it happened again this year in overtime, and last night with St. Peter's upsetting Kentucky in overtime, and St. Peter's will now face Murray State in the second round. So it's not something that you see all the time, but in more recent years, you start seeing the 15 seeds and the 14s and the 13s. You start seeing them pull upsets.
It was, again, I'm not playing brackets this year. I don't have any brackets, but boy, I was watching my social media feeds. A lot of people were crying. Well, that's it. My bracket's busted now. Big super. I don't even. Where is St. Peter's? I have to be honest. I'm not even familiar with St. Peter's.
We found this out last night. It is in New Jersey.
Okay.
Because I thought when we were at dinner and my uncle asked, because he asked me, he said, "You know where St. Peter's is?" I said, "No, but I know their nickname. They're the Peacocks." So we were trying to guess where they were from. My father, he said New Jersey. I said, "No," I said, "They're from Florida." St. Peter's, Peacocks, probably down in Florida, and we looked, and no, my father was right. It was in New Jersey. So, yeah, they stunned a lot of people last night. I mean, so now I guess depending on what happens today, I guess if you're looking for a Cinderella darling, it's going to be St. Peter's now.
Yeah, see how far they go or where they go next. I'm guessing one person unhappy about this would be our old friend Emily Goodman, because she was a big Kentucky fan.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night as we were watching that game, and it got into overtime, and I thought, to see the reaction on Emily's face right now, I bet it was probably mixed. It was probably sadness, frustration, anger, disappointment. I mean, you name them. It was probably there last night, and not only her, but all the Kentucky fans as well.
I saw her Facebook page early in the day yesterday. Emily Goodman, our former weather forecaster here on the Watchdog Morning Show, and she was all dressed up in her Kentucky colors, ready to go, ready to roll. She was showing the colors, so to speak, and was commenting on looking forward to the game. And oops. Oops.
Actually,
here comes St. Peter's. Who the heck is St. Peter's? But there you go.
Out of the
excuse me.
Out of the there were 8 games played yesterday. I thought there was 8. I was just counting to make sure. If you look at the 8 games that were played yesterday, we have 4 double-digit seeds that won yesterday. Michigan, who is an 11 seed. You have Richmond, who's a 12 seed. St. Peter's, we mentioned, the 15. And New Mexico State, who is a 12. So from yesterday, you have an 11 seed, 2 12 seeds, and a 15 seed already into the second round. And that was just the first day of the tournament. So who knows what today has.
That's what makes this tournament so much fun. That happens a lot. You see a lot of this, if not upsets like the St. Peter's upset, you see a lot of double-digit seeds making their way up. I mean that's what the game's all about. That's what the tournament's all about. That's why the fun is there. That's why people take chances on their brackets, thinking they might have a shot at it. That's what March Madness. That's why they call it madness, Biff.
I tried to predict a 5-12 upset. The only problem is I picked the wrong one. I didn't have the right one, so yeah, it's and again, you don't know. I mean, you know there's going to be at least a couple upsets, but I mean, I can't imagine. And you look at all these different sites that have their brackets that they do, and I'm sure if the numbers haven't been out already, how many people actually had St. Peter's beating Kentucky? I mean, the percentage has to be low.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, it's how many people like you even knew anything about St. Peter's?
What is a St. Peter? I mean, I know what St. Peter is. Hope I will see him someday. But I mean, not this St. Peter's. I didn't know what this was. So
I mean, think we had a St. Peter winning last night. We had St. Mary's winning last night. So apparently, if you have a saint, yesterday was your day.
If only there had been a St. Patriot.
Yeah, maybe. But again, just the first day of the tour, and of course, you had the 1 seeds advancing, Kansas, and although Gonzaga, Georgia State gave Gonzaga, I guess, a pretty good run for their money. So
Gonzaga is a great example, though, Biff. They are now a name that everybody knows. Everybody knows Gonzaga, and they're actually a bit more of a player now. But I remember the first time they were the St. Peter's of the tournament many years ago, right?
Right. I mean, people would say, Gonzaga, where are they? And then you find out they're in Washington, I believe, Spokane, Washington. So, yeah, they were that way at one point. And then all of a sudden, as the years kept rolling by, people started to pay more attention to Gonzaga, and now they are where they are. And then Baylor, they were the other number 1 seed. They advanced too yesterday. 3 of the 4 number 1s are in, but yeah, St. Peter's.
Well, the West Virginia high school basketball tournament underway, March Madness underway. Some things to pay attention to this weekend. By the way, if you're playing March Madness and you're a little nervous about your bracket, you can protect yourself against upsets with Bracket Parlay Insurance if you bet on our friends FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, all customers, that's new customers and old customers, current customers and the newcomers, can get up to $25 back every day if your parlay of 3 legs or more falls 1 leg short. You can build your own parlay based on the teams that are playing during the particular day you're betting. And parlays are great because they can take a small bet, turn it into a big payday. And then FanDuel has cash out they're talking about this year. You can close out your bet whenever you want to before the game is over. Now, if you're new to FanDuel, you don't have FanDuel on your phone yet or on your computer or wherever, sign up using my name, Monroe, M-O-N-R-O-E, in the promo code box. That's our promo code. And that just lets them know that you heard about it here on the Watchdog. And then get your FanDuel app, and you can bet the brackets all tournament long. Promo code Monroe. Now, I always have to remind you because, well, the law says I have to. You must be 21 years of age or older. You must be physically present in West Virginia. The deal here is if exactly one leg of your parlay loses, the refund is then issued as a non-withdrawable site credit, and you'll have 7 days to use that site credit back in your account. NCAA SBK wager is required. Restrictions do apply. More terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. As always, if gaming is fun for you, use FanDuel. If you have a problem, and some folks do, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. Wow, almost 7:30 in the morning on a Friday. A busy day today. I got a lot coming up today. With rising gas prices, plus a big budget surplus in West Virginia, state Democrats yesterday suggested Governor Justice should temporarily suspend the gas tax, as many governors have been doing around the country, to provide relief to the average West Virginians. The governor calls it, well, it's just a political stunt. Delegate Sean Fluharty in to talk about that with us a bit later on this morning. COVID's been around for 2 years now. It seems to be declining. Are we near the end, or are we in a lull? And what have we learned from 2 years of COVID? From WVU Medicine Wheeling Hospital, Dr. Clark Milton will come by to offer his thoughts on that. Russia continues its attacks on civilian targets. Meanwhile, some are asking if the Ukrainian situation is bringing us closer to nuclear war. Sadly, there are some experts who say the answer is yes. We'll talk about that in our continuing war coverage this morning. Remember earlier this week we talked about the U.S. Senate voting to make daylight savings time permanent. But there are some sleep experts who say, whoa, you made the wrong time period the permanent time period. We'll look at what they're having to say. Friday Funnies, we'll hear some more from late night comedy and a stand-up bit about parades. And we've got more family four-packs to give away for this weekend's professional bull riding event at West Banco Arena. Remember, when you hear the sound of the bull, again, not Sammy the bull, not me throwing the bull, but the actual bull, when you hear the sound of the bull, it's your chance to call in to win a family four-pack for professional bull riding throughout the morning this morning. All right, so that's what I've got coming up from me to ye. What do you have to offer me? Use the text line, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Simplest and easiest way for you to get through. If you prefer, you can call me, 304-232-8255. Looks like we're to see it all today. Real warm weather, sun, clouds, rain, storms. We'll find out more with Aaron Myler coming up in just a bit. But first, let's check Ohio Valley headlines here at 7:31. And with that, we go to the Big 7, WTRF TV.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from 7 News at WTRF. WKKX, the Watchdog.
Good Friday morning, Ohio Valley. I'm Stephen Ruffing with your 7 News headlines. A hot pursuit came to a chaotic stop in Wheeling last night. Police say the chase started after an initial traffic stop involving the driver and a woman passenger for a domestic situation. The chase wound up at the 10th Street parking garage in downtown Wheeling. The suspect drove to the 3rd floor level, took off running, and then jumped off the floor onto the road below. 42-year-old Christopher Ott of Wheeling was injured and taken to Wheeling Hospital. Ott is being charged with felony fleeing and possession with intent to deliver. He remains in serious condition. The U.S. Senate passed a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Here's how it would impact us in the Ohio Valley. In part, all of our winter sunrises and sunsets would be altered under the new bill. The new standard times we are accustomed to for spring, summer, and fall would be left unchanged. The biggest issue our region would deal with is the late sunrises during early January. Those would take place at 8:45 a.m., that being the latest sunrise for our area. Follansbee is getting a $10 million grant for their water waste plant. City officials have been working diligently to get the funding for this project and say they're thrilled to start it. The mayor says the need for these upgrades is vast, especially after the news of the Coke plant closing. That was a look at your headlines. Have a great rest of your day and have an even better weekend, everyone.
In St. Louis, the Penguins in a shootout beat the Blues 3-2. Brian Rust scored the game-winning goal for Pittsburgh.
It definitely feels good to play a good, hard game, control the game for most of the time.
And now let's hear from the Penguins head coach, Mike Sullivan.
If we put that kind of a game on the ice consistently, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win on most nights.
Saturday, the Penguins on the road again will visit Arizona. By the way, the Penguins, one of the best teams with the road record at 27-4. March Madness on day one featured a few upsets. On St. Patrick's Day, 15th seed St. Peter stuns number 2 seed Kentucky 85-79. How about number 12 Richmond over number 5 Iowa 67-63? And how about number 12 seed New Mexico State over 5 seed Connecticut 70-63? NFL update: the Philadelphia Eagles have released 6-time Pro Bowler Fletcher Cox. Could the Steelers sign Cox? Yes. Will they? Stay tuned. And Devontae Adams, no longer a Green Bay Packer, believe it or not. Adams was traded to the Raiders. Steelers lost free agent Ray McLeod to the San Francisco 49ers. A baseball note: the Pittsburgh Pirates begin preseason baseball this afternoon when they host the New York Yankees. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained...
It's pointing this way, the other way of this, the other way of this. Okay, I'm pointing the other way of this.
Give me a kiss, buddy. Give me a kiss and a hug. Love you, buddy. Here.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Biff, in case you haven't figured out, Teddy's here. His mom had got food poisoning or something. She's sick yesterday, so we kept him all night so he didn't bother her. Yeah, she was really sick yesterday. Only got out of bed to do one thing, and you know what that was. Yeah, well, yeah, I think it was, yes, you're right. I'm going to do Aaron, then I'll do a break, and then I'm going to, if I have time, I'm going to do a top of the morning with Ukraine. That's my plan, at least.
Mary. Combat veteran Josh Mandel, the proven conservative fighter. Paid for by Patriotic Veterans, Inc., a 501c4 committee, not coordinated with any candidate or campaign committee.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
West Virginia Outdoors is the Mountain State's only hook and bullet radio show, dedicated to the more than 250,000 hunters and anglers across the state. Award-winning host Chris Lawrence has been tracking down hunting and fishing stories for more than 25 years.
Went in behind a little birch tree at its head. I reached down and got the bow position and found its horns and dropped down and shot it in the neck.
Whether it's hunting and fishing news,
it tracks real super well, but not with a 60-pound carp tied to the side.
Or just compelling stories about the enjoyment of the great outdoors.
How close did you let him get in before you let fly on him?
He was about 18 yards, Chris. He got turned in the right angle there, and I touched off the trigger, and when I hit him, he ran kind of up the hill, which scared me at first.
West Virginia Outdoors covers it all, Saturday mornings at 7:06 a.m. And for your daily fix, Outdoors Today brings you 2.5 minutes of news and notes from the woods and water every weekday morning. No one covers the great outdoors like Chris Lawrence. And Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hey man, what can I get you?
Yeah, can I have 2 Coors Lights?
You got it. Hey Mike! I need 2 Coors Lights!
Sure thing. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go.
Thanks, Mike. Doing a great job. All right, 2 ice-cold Coors Lights.
That's the coldest beer I've ever had.
Hey, they don't call it the world's most refreshing beer for nothing.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you really have the Rocky Mountains in your beer cooler?
You don't believe it? Check it out.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
I know, right? I can't believe it myself sometimes. I mean, this cooler is only 3 feet wide.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Sports Map Radio is on all night long. Tune in to get up-to-the-minute sports coverage on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
I mentioned earlier, of course, you can watch our video feed on Twitter, or you can watch us at watchdognetwork.com. Now, the one thing that's different between listening on air and watching our Twitter feed or watching our watchdognetwork.com feed is that you get to see what goes on in my home studio during commercial breaks or news breaks. And some of you probably were a little confused by the little red imp that showed up here. My grandson, Teddy, is here. His mama wasn't feeling very good yesterday, so in order to give her an extra rest, we kept him last night. So he just got up and came in and he's watching himself on the TV screen, our video screen here, and it confuses him because, you know, how it's a mirror image. So the screen, he's looking to the left, and on the screen, he's looking to the right, and he's trying to confuse that, trying to figure that out. And then for reasons beyond my ken, he decided to start acting like a chicken. So if you were watching, you would have heard him going, bark, bark, bark. I don't know why. It's just, that's how he chose to begin his morning. But yeah, if you're watching the video feed, you get some little extra tidbits there from time to time. Coming up in a bit, the question some people are asking, is the Ukrainian invasion going to end up in nuclear war? And I wish I could tell you that everybody is saying, of course not. But they're not. In the words of one New York Times expert who was quoted just yesterday, what is the chance of a nuclear war? Well, it's not zero, they said. We'll talk about that. More attacks on civilian targets by Russia. Get into all of that in our Ukrainian update coming up in a bit. But let's stay much closer to home and much more pleasant. I think it's relatively pleasant. And that means it's time to talk about the weather with Aaron Myler. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. It's Friday and I'm almost done.
That's the way I'm looking at it too. Hey, just to give me another couple hours, and I'll say, see ya. I'm heading off to the weekend. Going to be a somewhat of a rainy weekend, though, right?
It's going to be. We're going to say rainy in the sense of a long period of time with rain, but not that much physical water falling from the sky, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So we're going to have rain starting like around 6 to 8 o'clock this evening. So like right around dinner or slightly thereafter, depending on when you eat. We'll have like a couple storms possible in there, a tiny bit more widespread today, and then tomorrow it's going to be like real scattered showers through. Like you might have a heavy one, but it's not going to last long. They're like, I think described it as like polka dots on the radar, but like not even very many polka dots. Like we couldn't afford more than a couple chips to put on that radar. It's just like it's going to be really really scattered. So, I mean, I think we're only expecting a tenth to like maybe a third of an inch over like from tonight through Sunday at like noon. So it's really just not going to be much rain, but it's still going to be like you have a chance for the entire time, if that makes sense. So like you'll have rain sometimes, a lot of times you won't have rain. And I feel like even when you have this kind of thing, even if you get rain, it's like, well, oh well.
So we've got it's a chance of rain at any time and pretty much anywhere around the valley. Again, not a storm, not a gigantic, downpour. But it could, throughout the weekend, anywhere, anytime, you might see a little bit of rain, correct?
Correct. Like you could, like tonight we could have some storms in there and overnight, but like again, they're going to be scattered. They're not going to be like these big things that last for a long period of time. So it's going to be really like, it's weird because like it's probably going to feel, it's going to feel rainy probably most of the day because of it. But even with that, it's like it's not going to be the worst. It's just not that much rain overall. It's not that much liquid actually falling.
Going to be a warm day, though. It may feel rainy, perhaps, during the day, but it's going to be a nice warm day today. In fact, we're hitting, it's my Goldilocks temperature you're predicting today.
You're welcome. I didn't know my pot of gold, but I assume I'm charging interest at this point, so it didn't rise yet. So
there you go. 72 to me is the perfect temperature. 72 and a pleasant breeze. And, of course, I would prefer some sunshine, which I guess we might get during the day, right? We'll get some sunshine today.
Yeah, like we're going to have some sunshine. I mean, the sun's rising outside as we speak. It's like we're getting some sunshine for the first part of the day. Clouds are already going to pretty quickly start to move in here shortly. And then as we get to this afternoon, it'll probably just be more cloudier skies. But for the first part of your day, at least, you'll have some sun in there. So maybe I'll take my walk. I got like a long break here. So I'll take my walk for the day on my break. But yeah, after that, like I said, it's been a little bit more rainy this weekend. But, I mean, hey, it's warm at least today. Dropping down into the mid-50s, mid to upper 50s for the weekend. So it's not like it's last weekend where it was, like, dropping down into in the mid-20s for most of last Saturday. So, like, it's not terrible. It's going to be windy tomorrow, though. So it is, like, another thing you'll notice when you step outside.
And the weekend's going to be above normal for the weekend anyways. I mean, it's going to be cooler than today, but above normal for the time of year.
Exactly. 50 is where we would normally be sitting at. We're sitting in at 58 for Saturday, 55 for Sunday. It's definitely colder than we've had today in the last 2 days. We hit 70 the last 2 days, but I mean, it's definitely not a bad weekend. Temperature-wise overall, like I said, there is some rain out there, but it's like not anything crazy. We're not like getting a ton of water, so I mean, could be worse.
You said something a minute ago that really hit me this morning as I was setting up for the show and making some notes and looking at the forecast and all that kind of stuff before we went on the air. And I checked the temperatures and I looked out the window and it was dark. And I thought, I'm looking here. The forecast says starting off with sunshine. And then I remembered, we're in daylight savings time. Last week I was looking out the window in the morning before the show and the sun was rising. Now I looked out the window right before the show and it's still dark.
7:29 is sunrise, so it's starting to get up there now. So it's funny now because exactly the same thing. That and at night, I'm like, it's so bright, so long. It's just odd.
Yeah, it was. Well, and when we had our grandson here last night, and now normally when he's with me, it's usually on Fridays. We keep him Friday nights just for fun. He gets to spend his time with grandma and granddad's. And I let him stay up forever. His parents yell at me and they say, no, he's got a bedtime. And I go, his bedtime is whenever he wants to go to bed. Granddad says he can stay up. But last night was a school night. We don't normally keep him on school nights. So he had to get to bed at an early time. And I kept looking out the window going, please, darkness, come. Please, darkness, come. I don't want to try to put him to sleep in the light, you know. This daylight savings thing just messes up everything, in my opinion. Hey, let's jump ahead to next week. I'm looking at this 7-day. Monday, it may be the best day of the whole period, right?
Yeah, Monday's looking pretty good. I mean, like I said, the second half of Sunday will be pretty good, too. Monday even better, though. Sunny, mostly sunny, 64. It's not too terrible. The rain, unfortunately, like you said, though, you can see it comes back. It looks like this is a problem with, like, the 7 days sometimes in general. Is it looks like there's so much rain every day because there's words on each day, most days, and there's also some rain coming. But it's like, it's not going to be bad everything. There's no way to make it look appropriate if you just look at it and don't listen to everything else I say. But yeah, it's going to be chance of showers depending on Tuesday, some rain, probably like in the afternoon or evening, but still a little bit far out to get timing perfectly down. Then some rain throughout the day on Wednesday, and we'll probably have it wrapping up by Thursday is what it's looking like now. So again, it's like a week out, so it's a little bit too far to be for sure, but it's not looking bad at all. The temperature is sticking in like right around 60, give or take a few degrees.
All right, and again, for the day today, a nice warm one, 72 predicted high. We'll see some sunshine. We'll see some clouds. It might feel a little rainy because rain's coming in tonight. Rain could have some storms embedded with it. That's what to look forward to today. A slightly rainy weekend, and spring officially arrives on Sunday. So all in all, not too bad. My typical Friday question, Mr. Myler, any big plans?
I thought she was telling Stephanie. I wish I had something exciting to say, but I have nothing planned. So we'll see what happens.
Well, just be prepared. Be prepared for the unexpected. That's what happens.
Yeah, literally, exactly that. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know what the mood is yet. Because sometimes, like, yeah, I mean, you guys know. Sometimes you want to be inside and just chill. Sometimes you want to go and do things. Sometimes it's like, I never know what I want to do. So we'll see what happens.
Well, whatever you do, have fun at it, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. Have a good weekend.
You too, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot. Aaron Myler from the Big 7, WTRF TV. It is 7:51, 9 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 53 is what I'm looking at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little cooler here at the home studios. 48, about 50 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. We'll do a little Ukrainian invasion update that's coming up next. There's nothing good to talk about in this, I'll tell you that right now. That's straight ahead. 7:51, 9 before the hour. We are the Watchdog Morning Show.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes.
We'll do, obviously, Ukraine coming up next, Biff. I do, please. Thank you. Excellent thinking. Thanks.
Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
We are compassionate.
We are focused.
We are confident.
We are dependable.
We are resilient.
We are skilled.
We are empathetic.
We are knowledgeable.
We are respectful.
We are here.
For you and your family.
We are close to home. We are
WVU Medicine.
Dutch Boy Platinum Plus. It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that will transform your den with just one coat of salted lavender into a writer's sanctuary. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where you'll meet this guy
Hey,
who starred in that thing.
now that's a twist I didn't see coming.
So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically paint. Dutch Boy, only at Menards.
You're never too far from the most local programming in the Ohio Valley. Find us here. AM 1600 and 1370. FM 98.1 and 97.7. We are the Watchdog. The Watchdog.
Here's the news you'll be talking about all day. Top of the morning on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
It's a hard world to get a break in. 6 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is a hard world in the Ukraine, especially the invasion into Ukraine by Russia continues. And Russia is continuing its repeated attacks on civilian targets. We heard about attacks on a maternity hospital a couple of, maybe a week or so ago. The attacks continue this week. Buildings clearly marked children with large letters on them. Boom, attacked by the Russians. It has been numerous attacks on civilian targets, leading to numerous civilian casualties. The political chief of the United Nations reminded the UN Security Council yesterday that international humanitarian law bans direct attacks on civilians. And it's important to point that out. On the other hand, I ask myself, does anybody think that Vladimir Putin really cares about international law? My purely layman's guess is not a bit. President Biden had called Putin this week a war criminal. Now, that has a specific meaning in international law, and I don't know if Putin actually meets the criteria or not. He might. I'm not an international law expert. But I think in the common vernacular, he certainly meets the criteria of a war criminal. And one of the questions that a lot of folks are asking is, because Russia is, of course, a nuclear power, are we headed towards nuclear war? And there were several stories about this in mainstream major media yesterday. New York Times did a large piece on it and asked a number of experts, and they said could be. The one that caught my attention was the one expert who said, "Are you asking me what's the chance for nuclear war? It's not zero." So could it be coming? Senator Manchin this week on CNN's weekend show referenced the Cuban Missile Crisis. He said, "We remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, and there were only two superpowers then that had nuclear weapons, the U.S. and Russia." Manchin goes on to say, "Think of all the countries that now have them and what this could turn into." Senator Manchin says that is what is alarming to all of us. Well, again, several of the experts polled by the Washington Post, the New York Times, have said that that Putin is a couple things. Basically, not stable. Secondly, he's being pushed to his limits. He's being frustrated. This Ukrainian thing was supposed to be a walk in the park for him, and it's not. So he's getting a little frustrated. And could he leash out with nuclear weapons? It's entirely possible. Again, people who follow this kind of stuff say it is not something we should discard lightly. It is not something that's a guarantee or that we're thinking is coming tomorrow, but it is something we have to keep in our back pockets. Here's a little bit more on the Ukraine from our friends at ABC.
Russia has struck the city of Lviv in western Ukraine for the first time. The mayor of Lviv says an aircraft repair building near the city's airport was hit by missiles. One person was hurt. ABC's Martha Raddatz has more from Lviv.
This was launched by Russian aircraft over the Black Sea, about 800 miles away. 6 cruise missiles, 4 of them struck the facility. 2, the Ukrainians say, were intercepted. Of course, we have had warnings from U.S. officials there might be strikes here in Lviv, this is the first time they don't believe it will be the last.
Russia's foreign minister told Russian state television that the country considers aid shipments to Ukraine that contain military equipment legitimate targets. President Biden this morning will speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said the U.S. is concerned that China is considering assisting Russia with military equipment. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Coming up in the next hour, coming up in a minute or two, more on the Ukraine from ABC. That is straight ahead. Next hour, the Capitol Report, continuing to wrap up last week's end of the legislative session. We'll talk about that. A little bit later on this morning, Sean Fluharty, delegate from Ohio County, will be here to talk about the session and an idea the Democrats proposed yesterday. And in the next hour, we'll talk about COVID 2 years after the fact with WVU Medicine's Dr. Clark Milton. It's all coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Got about 54 degrees at 8 o'clock.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
All right, I'm going to go see Teddy for a minute. Biff, I'll be back.